All right, so this morning, we've got a couple hours, going to mess around, see if we can't get anything offshore. This lake has come up to maybe a foot and a half in the past day because we just been getting torrential downpour. But it's still warm and we're still in the middle of this pressure system. We got a cold front rolling in that might shut them off on Saturday, Sunday, or next Saturday, next Sunday. So try to get as much fishing in as we can because the fishing's been pretty good locally anyway. Get out here, hit some offshore spots, and see if we can't catch something. So the trick today is to try to figure out what the fish want. And we're on this pattern now where they seem to want stuff that's kind of slow. They're not really super... They are hitting it, which is weird. Like, a lot of fish on fluke and Senko, but letting the stuff drop real down and then popping it up. I've also got a couple on crankbait, but the ones that are on crankbait, they're all reel it down, let it float up, reel it down, let it float up. So they're not, targeting just one specific thing. They're feeding, but it's not like I want to smash it kind of thing. The wind is probably going to pick up a little bit this afternoon. I'm supposed to get about 10 to 15, which isn't bad. Right now it's perfect. Like, you want this little bit of chop on this lake, the way that this place fishes. A little bit of chop, a little bit of breeze keeps you cool, and then obviously the fish a lot more active. It's a little bit overcast. We got a little bit of mist and stuff that's got to burn off yet, and the fish will, at least in the morning, move a lot more. Once the lake gets warmed up, though, they'll start feeding. There's a mat of grass up here that you can kind of see, and it's really kind of like this algae dead stuff, but it's perfectly at the top, and then as we come out here, the grass starts to die off, and the fish have just been kind of moving back and forth across it. I just saw a big fish just absolutely whiffed on my fluke, dude. No. I'm talking, probably another 5-6 pounder. So they're still here. I think it's a good fish. It is. It's okay fish. It's a decent one. He thumped it pretty hard on the Senko, just bouncing it. Oh, perfect. Corner of the mouth. And that's not a bad one to start the day, so let's get a length on this guy. 17 1/4. That's not a bad one to start. The one that missed it, that fluke earlier, was definitely bigger than this, but this ain't a bad start. Looks like it's going to be maybe a worming kind of day. Same places I'd hooked a bunch of fish yesterday. So we're just thrown kind of towards the mat. So here's the thing, when you fish like some of these grass mats, especially here in Florida, they might look like it's topped out up there, but really this far back, 20, 30 yards back off the mat, it's still almost kind of topped out. So you don't want to fish like right up on it. You want to pay attention to your graph, look in the water if you got good glasses and there's enough clarity to see it. You want to... It's grass. You want to kind of figure out exactly where it starts to kind of drop off and there gets to be a decent column of water above and above the grass. The fish want to kind of will hang out there a lot of times, and they'll be looking up. And that guy was definitely looking up. So I'm just popping the Senko above the grass, and he came up and grabbed it. So right now, if I look at my graph, I'm sitting at 6.5 foot of water. It's 3 foot of grass and it's about 2.5 foot of grass. And 4 foot, 3.5 foot of water. So last year like the second half of the year, really struggled for whatever reason. And again, I think it's because I got away from things that I was comfortable doing. You know, a lot of the people that fish here in Florida, we're pretty good at trash fishing, which is just, pretty much anything. But beating the bank, that kind of stuff. Me, top water and working the Senko is what I've got really good at, and I just kind of strayed away from it. I should have really stuck to it a lot more. Stuck to throwing like a weightless wacky rig like I'm doing right now, even though there's grass, and I should have really relied more on what I've come to know instead of trying to get crafty and find offshore spots and things like that, especially when things weren't working out. I feel like I did a lot better in some of my later year performances. All right, one more cast with the Senko, and then I think we're going to move on to see if we can get them dragging. I guarantee they're down in this grass. Maybe they're just being a little lackadaisical this morning. Maybe they don't want to come up and chase the bait so much. He smoked that, dude. I mean, he absolutely obliterated it. But that, it's okay. He wasn't that big. GoPro start recording. GoPro start recording. Oh, man. Stay on. Yes. Whew. I couldn't tell if the GoPro was recording, so I'm shouting at it. Great fish. Wow. Great hook set too. Like, right there in the corner of the mouth. That's a good fish. Oh, she wasn't coming off. She smoked her right at the surface. She missed it or something, and I set the hook. I think she missed it, or she just grabbed the tail, and then when I was sitting there on the surface, she came back and obliterated it. All right, beautiful post spawner, great fish. Get her back on the board, get a video, and send her off. All right, big girl. Just caught her on this fluke, and again, I guess they kind of want it closer to the surface, because I felt her hit it the first time, real slight. I think she just had the tail, so I popped it. I thought, I set the hook. I didn't see her, so I set the hook, and it was sitting on the surface, and she waked on it. So hopefully got that on camera, but that's cool nonetheless. Great fish. It's good morning. It's not bad for a second fish in the boat. Don't know what's up with my mics. I might have audio on it, I might not, and I don't know. It's not picking up the voice commands. So I'm gonna move to chest mount. What sucks is being an audio guy and going through all the signal flow process, and then it's still not working. I'm hoping it's not an issue with the equipment. If it's an equipment issue, I can't fix that. It's just a simple disconnector. Needs something needs to restart. Got it. So hopefully it's just the wireless mics probably needed to be reset, but I'm not gonna mess with it at this point. I want to get some fishing in. Oh, I think I just got bit. I did. I think it came off. No, he's still on. Must not be very big. Okay. Okay, nah, he ran right at me. He's an okay fish. It's no giant, but we'll take it. Pops right off. Perfect. Set that right there so I don't lose my O-ring. That's not a bad one. Alright, dude. Thank you. Lost a good one yesterday. Probably about the same size as the one I caught today. Because they grabbed it, and as soon as they grabbed it, it started running right at me. That's the hardest thing to do, is keep tension, especially with like these little circle hooks. Keep tension on the line, especially when they're running at you, because usually, the hook will pop right out. Having this short 6.6 M6 rod from H2O Express Delta is not the greatest option either, but again, if you didn't know, I've mentioned this multiple times, my good rod, the 611, is at the bottom of Toho somewhere. Next hour or two is typically when fish here get a lot more aggressive. This is one of those places where they feed pretty heavy in the afternoon. The best fishing I've ever had at this specific area has always been late afternoon, somewhere between like 4 and 9 o'clock. Had an online charity tournament once. I thought about hitting some of the bigger honey holes in Florida, like Cayville, Fellsmere, places like that, and decided to come here for Friday night because it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I worked Friday. Friday night came here, and in 30 minutes between when the sun kind of just hit the bottom of the horizon there and started to get dark, the last 30 minutes of actual usable light, bam, 7-pounder, 5-pounder, 4-pounder, all in the same spot. I've come out here with Whopper Plopper at night, and they absolutely pounding it. It's a very much afternoon, late evening bite here, but you can get them in the morning too. I was here with a buddy the other day and had two 6-pounders on back-to-back, well, not back-to-back casts, but within probably 15 minutes of each other. Got about 45 minutes to an hour left. Been at it for just about 2 hours. So, not too bad. 3 fish in the boat, 4 fish on, 6 fish seen, 1 non-species, or 1 non-targeted species, put it that way. Not too bad, for the morning that it is, considering like conditions are actually pretty good right now, but we've in this weird front where had a ton of rain yesterday, had a ton of rain the day before, so I'm just hoping that it looks like this pattern will hold for a little while. It's post-spawn patterns, what this is. So a lot of the fish in this lake, because the water table has been so low for a while, instead of spawning up on all the hard stuff like over there that you see that they would normally spawn on, they actually pushed out into that column that was about 4 or 5 foot of water and spawned in the hydrilla like this. Like if I go over there now, up in that area, I could show you there's bed everywhere, and they're bass beds. They're not sloppy beds. They're straight up bass beds. But they spawned out further from the shoreline than they normally would, just because the water column has been low. I think I just got bit. I did. Keep him down. I don't know how big he is. Not very big. Come on now. Dogging me. But they're out here now, feeding in this kind of post-spawn bite. So, not completely fattened up just yet. But they're out here feeding mostly on shad and glass minnows. fish right there. It's not a bad one. Keep his head up out of that hydrilla though. Really can't bully him with this rod like it could with the other one. Oh, he took the hook a little deeper than I'd like. Alright, let's get it out. How long is he? Like 17 and a half. Still not a bad fish. Peace. Always make sure you check your line. My line at the bottom there is pretty frayed, mostly from the, rubbing on those fish's teeth. All that has to do with the fact that they're feeding on bait fish a lot. I think that's going to do it. Finish up this cast and head on in. Not too bad for 2 hours worth of work. A couple fish here. Catch them in that kind of post-spawn pattern. Off this kind of just submerged hydrilla. We've got these mats up here to my left. Working the edges out here where they're at. Fun day, fun morning. Hopefully we'll get another chance to get back out here. If the weather's not too crappy. And have some more fun a little bit later. But as for right now, my anchor is not holding. I'm dragging through this hydrilla. So I think we're going to call it. Yeah, again, just a fun little morning. One big one on the fluke, everything else kind of on the Senko. Nothing on rattle trap, nothing on crankbait. Just kind of hoping to get one or two on that, but I have to try another day. All right, guys, stay safe out there, and I will catch you in the next one.